mission because we were a little low on fuel. And the weather had kind of sucked in the field. There was visibility, and we were supposed to have an instrument landing system called the SCS-51. That was our instrument landing system, which could bring you down to within 50 feet of the runway. And from there it was visual, and there was 50 feet of visual landing. But we came around to land, and part of that system is that you have to dial in the barometric pressure. And the tower would give you the barometric pressure, which we dialed in. So we dialed in the barometric pressure, and we get a reading. We come down through the clouds, and just about at 50 feet, it breaks through, and you can see the runway, and we're coming down. And instead of being at the beginning of the runway, we're in the middle of the runway. So we pick up, and we go around, and we come back, and exactly the same thing happened. I think we had the wrong barometric pressure, or it had changed, you know what. But we come down, we're in the middle. But now, as we were going around, I was concerned because you started to hear the engines kind of popping from being low on fuel. So I put it down, hit the brake, and it planed. It slid down to the end of the runway and slid off the end. And I told my crew to get out. You know Eric Swain?
I've heard of him. He
has a picture of that section. I told my crew, don't take anything with you. Get out of the plane as fast as you can and run. And then I got out and ran. And sure enough, here comes another plane, and he's sliding down right behind us into my plane. And the two men in the nose, one of them was seriously hurt. I don't know how bad or what, I didn't find out. But just that he was seriously hurt. And the other one was also injured, but not quite as bad. You know, and so that's two planes that never flew.
Written off.
And there may have been two others. I belly landed, I landed one in Belgium, but we were leaking fuel on the way back from the mission. We had caught some flack somewhere, I don't know where. But the waste gunners were called to say that they're smelling fuel, and could see drips of it coming. So I put it down on an abandoned fighter field in Belgium, and then, you know, we radioed home before, and they sent two jeeps to pick us up and took us to Brussels, and they had a hostel there where we stayed overnight, and then I think it was the next day, or maybe the second day after that, they flew us back to England.
So what was that, in the same B-17 that you landed, or just in another flight?
It was a different
flight. So I wonder what happened to that B-17.
I don't know.
Well, amazing.
You know, then there was one more,
a fourth one.
There was a field not far from the cliffs of Dover that the RAF had, and it was either a double or a triple wide runway. I don't know how wide it was, but I know it's very wide. And it was there because if a plane was either damaged or weather was bad and you couldn't get into your own field, they would divert you to this one.
It could be Woodbridge.
No, not Woodbridge. It was a different one.
There's two that are very near to here, within 10 minutes of here, are these emergency landing strips.
Yeah? I thought it was closer to the English Channel.
Yeah, well, it's not far from here.
Oh, yeah?
The coast is within.
Well, I know that Eric Swain knows the name of it. He told me a dozen times, and I could never retain it. At any rate, we were coming into that field, and what they had 55-gallon drums spaced every 25 or 50 feet apart with oil in them. And when the weather was bad like that, they would light them. And while that created a great deal of smoke. You were flying under it, and it was burning off the fog, the heat, but it was also lighting up the runway. You know, they didn't have outdoor lights for the runway.
Yeah.
And so you'd come in. So we're coming across the English Channel because we can't land at Eye. And as we're over the channel and just starting to come out of the clouds, there's a bang, bang noise. And my navigator calls out, I'm hit. And he had been knocked off his seat and onto the steps. And he puts his hand on his chest and there's blood. And I tell the top steward, go down to the hospital, with the navigator. And they get down there and there's feathers all over the place. He got hit by a seagull. We had two of them. One came through the plexiglass and shattered the plexiglass and hit him in the chest. But when he, you know, he's laying down there, there's blood.
And you think you've been hit. Oh,
At any rate,
lucky him.
and the other one hit the wing and dented, put a big dent in the leading edge of the wing. Wow. You know, but other than that, there was no problem. We landed on the field. But we couldn't fly that plane back to our base after everybody else did. So they sent a car to take, actually a truck, to take my crew back the following day. We spent the night there.
Wow, my God.
So I don't know if that plane ever flew again, but there could have been 4 planes that didn't fly again.
So no wonder you never got to name a plane, because you didn't have it long enough.
Well, even the one that we landed in Poland, was not my regular plane that was assigned to me.
Yeah.
We had a problem with the regular plane, and they sent jeeps around and drove us to a spare. This one was a war-weary.
Done its missions like that.
And that's the one that went to Poland.
Probably never come back from Poland.
It disappeared. I went back in 2002 to see if I could find a farm and a village. And they asked me to come back to give them the names of all my crew members and the position and so on. And they put up a monument on that field where we belly landed that plane and we came back to the dedication. And this was a tiny village, but when they had that dedication, there were over 1,000 people there, including my grandchildren. And my daughter and my wife had died by that time. And
wonderful thing to do.
my 2 sons, my brother and his wife came. And they had a great...
You need to write a book.
Brilliant.
You really need to write a book.
I've been working on it.
It isn't going to happen. I can't sit down and do it.
Even in snippets, because what I'd done with my grandfather, he was in the Royal Navy. I sat down and discussed